All right, good folks. Welcome to another episode of NFC Beast. And this is the special episode, Super Bowl 57 edition. We got Cool in the building, Eagles Elite play callers. How you doing tonight, Cool?
A little nervous, but pretty good overall, man. Pretty good overall, right?
Good. And we got our first timer, Koresh. He's been in the group chat for a minute, but good to get him on the show as well. Get his thoughts on Super Bowl 57. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm so hyped for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Go.
some people are hyped for Rihanna. Some people are hyped for the actual game, but
yeah.
either or, people are hyped. So
Or
that's a good look for the
or
NFL
both.
period, or both. Yes. So I want to first come out and just say, we've been doing the show for the complete season. Shout out to all the supporters and those that have supported us throughout this entire season. Shout out to Cole Johnson for the intro and the outro, and everybody else for tuning in and checking us out. We got this is CJ Boyd in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. He's always gonna come with some hot fire in the chat. Never fails. Don't change, CJ, man. Be you. Be you always, man. Lamar Wallace is tuning in. Said, "I know you're nervous. Cool, go Chiefs." And he says, "Say, how old is Koresh?"
Oh man, I'm 17.
Hey, get in this podcast game early, man, because it can take
Best
you
move.
for real. It can take you leaps and bounds. So definitely. This is my man Vince. We call him the sports governor of Minnesota. He said, "What's up?" I think Philly wins by 7 to 10 points. All right, we can get right into that tonight. So we're previewing the Super Bowl, and we have the NFC awards. So just how they do with the NFL honors. We came up with our own set of awards, and we'll talk about those tonight. All right, so first off, I'll say, Cool. I'll go to you first. You talk about the journey of the team making it to Super Bowl 57. The doubters all along the way. Jalen Hurts, all the haters. Talk about the journey to Super Bowl 57.
It's been pretty crazy, man. A lot of people, obviously not fans of the team, but a lot of people, man. Well, I will say some fans of the team as well, but a lot of people just didn't believe that the Eagles had what it took to get here, right? Just didn't believe it, man. From the preseason, power rankings, talk, other teams, jabbering, just everything, man. But what's important, and this is any team can do this if the right set of circumstances happen.
Mm-hmm.
It matters what the guys in that locker room around you think. It matters what the coaches think, right? It matters what your fan base is giving you. All those things matter. And we've really been behind the Eagles, man. We felt like we had a great team. Um, we went out on the field. Our quarterback, QB1, came out and did exactly what we needed him to do. He really stepped his game up even more than I expected him to. He made sure that he made the right plays with his arm and with his legs. I mean, this guy is the son of a coach, right? We're not talking about a guy just off the street. We're talking about a guy who's been watching football, around football his whole life. So, he knows what to do. He had the right people behind him. He had the right support. He had 2 number 1 receivers, a great tight end. We had the just so many things that went right. The running game really came alive. Steichen did a great job of mixing things up for the most part. There were some times where you kind of like, come on, man, you got to do better. But, we said all year, if you went back and heard about it, Jalen Hurts told Devontae Smith when he watched the Bengals last year, "Don't worry, man, we're going to be there next year, and we're going to win it." So to respond to Lamar Wallace's comment, that's your dream, baby. You just wanted to beat the Bengals. You did that. But I want you to understand one thing. There's one more game left. So you can talk all you want in the chat, but guess what? You ain't out there with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar trying to block their defensive line. Right. That's going to be a problem. Exactly. The defense, man, really carried us at times when the offense may not have been hitting on all cylinders. The offense picked us up sometimes when the defense may not have played as well as they could. It was a really great effort. And at the risk of talking about each individual game, because we're our show, hour-ish, right? But I just think they really out and played hard. We had the loss against the Commanders. That was actually much needed. As my QB said, man, hungry dogs run a little faster. Ever since that loss, I think we've been playing with a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah.
I think before that, it was kind of like a little bit of an aura of invincibility. And I'm glad we lost it. I don't mind it was the Commanders. I think that's a loss we can always look back on and say we should have won that game. So when you get in those moments where the game's tight or you're down by a little bit or you just be a little lackadaisical, you can remember we let one of these get away from us. We don't want to do that again, especially in the Super Bowl. So,
right.
We beat the teams we should have beat. We won a couple of games most people thought we shouldn't win. And that's all you could really ask. We had some momentum going into the playoffs with our starter. A lot of people want to talk about the 2 games that we had with our backup, right? Minshew, he's not a bad quarterback, but he just doesn't fit the system. But that's who was the backup, and we wanted to protect Jalen. And hopefully we could win one of those first 2, and then he wouldn't have to play in the third one, the last game of the season. But it did. We got the number 1 seed. We got the bye. We needed that. Lane Johnson's playing hurt. A lot of guys are playing at least banged up. I think Jalen Hurts is not injured, but I think the arm is still bothering him a little bit. And you expect that.
Right.
It's just a matter of playing through it. We've done what we needed to do throughout the playoffs. We won the games we played. 49ers fans are still salty 2 weeks later. 49ers players are still salty 2 weeks later. But guess what? You went out there and you didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing I don't get the most about it is that you really think Brock Purdy was going to give you a win against that defensive line.
Right.
And the whole, right. And then it's the whole, we didn't get to see the best team play. That's what you hear from 49ers.
Couch Coach, real quick.
And that's cool, man. What's up, Couch Coach? If that's how you want to roll with it, that's cool, man. But at the end of the day, man, the Eagles are there because the Eagles were better than every team they played.
Yeah.
And truthfully speaking, man, we don't know that yet about Kansas City. I believe we're going to win the game. And I believe it's not going to be a problem for us. But we don't know it until the game's played. So this is the Super Bowl that a lot of people thought would happen. This is the Super Bowl I predicted. So I'm excited to see it. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
One down.
And I'll say this. I think the hate all season has fueled you guys, obviously. Jalen Hurts has won at every level. People fail to remember that. I don't know if he won in high school. I'm assuming he did. But obviously he won a championship in college. Obviously now he's at the next level, which I think he has the ability to do it. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey. It's been good to see Jalen Hurts' progression. It's been good to see Nick Sirianni just really come in here and I think give you guys that added burst of energy. I love those coaches that will argue with people, that will kick the podium, that will call people out in the stands. I love that type of energy, and I think Nick Sirianni does that. So a couple comments here. Courtney says 5 Eagles 5, 27-20. Pressure Mahomes with all front 4 and jump ahead quickly. Shout out to my man, end of the bench in the building. And then I'm going to come to you, Koresh. You kind of an outsider looking in. Neither one of your teams are necessarily in it. Before I do that, I agree with you, CJ. I'm a Cowboys fan too. Definitely was hating. I don't want to see the Eagles win another one. Like I know it's NFC beast, but the amount of stick your chest out, walking crotch first that these Eagles fans gonna do that I know, I don't really want to hear it because I will never ever hear the end of it. But well deserved. I congrats to you guys on what you've done this year. All right, and let's bring in the one and only.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Sorry about being late. I apologize. The little boy was not cooperating.
Oh, you good, man. You good. If you got more than one kid, I don't blame anybody for being late. It's mouths and kids and getting dressed and eating and all types of stuff. So we appreciate you coming through. All right, Koresh, I wanted to come to you kind of outside looking in. Give us your thoughts on the Eagles.
All right, so I'll be honest with you. Like, first 5-6 weeks, I was not bought in. I wasn't bought in till like week 15. I was like, man, this team's like they're like the Arizona Cardinals. 2 years ago they started off 10-0. Like, I never believed in the Cardinals. And Nick Sirianni, like, I thought he was a college coach because he seems like one of those like culture builders guys. They try to build up a program from start, and that doesn't usually work in the NFL. But he's so lucky that he has great players all around. I mean, he had Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts from year 2 to year 3, the jump he's took, it's unbelievable. Like, I've never seen anything like it, honestly. And so they have a great running game, right? Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott. You know, the way this game is going to come down, it's to the line, the offensive line and defensive line. That's all it's going to come down to. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to that. If Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce can step up, it's over. I don't think the Chiefs' defense is any good. I think the Chiefs get lucky a lot. There's a lot of close games that they don't deserve to win. That they get one call like that Mahomes, 15-yard penalty or whatever. That no, let them play. You know what I mean? So I think the Eagles are taking this one home for sure.
Right.
Like 31-20. That's my
Okay. And there's an interesting stat that I heard is that most Super Bowls are not close. I don't know the exact number, but I think it's the last close Super Bowl I can think of was the Seahawks and the Patriots. That came down to that last play. But a lot of them we think are going to be close, and they end up being 10 to 15 points off between the scores. So we'll see what happens in this one. All right, Sam, I wanted to go to you. Give us your thoughts on this Eagles run and this Eagles season.
Well, obviously, I enjoyed the season quite a bit. We started off very hot. It seemed like every week we were defeating a team that somebody was saying was going to be the test. First it was Minnesota, and then it was Dallas, and then it was this, and then it was that, and it seemed like every week we had a new test coming up, and we were defeating that test. And I was very encouraged by the way the season went. Overall, I know I was very critical of the team at times, given the way that they played Hurts. They ran him a lot with design runs that I thought was a little bit too much at times. But at the same time, run with what got you there. And, they did, and they stuck with it. Credit to them for that. And ultimately, we're in the Super Bowl because of it. So, I have to eat a little bit of crow because Nick Sirianni stuck to his guns and rode it all the way to a Super Bowl. So I definitely think this is going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tight game. I don't expect a blowout. This might be one of the closest Super Bowls in a while, based on what you were just saying. But I'm excited. I think we match up with the Chiefs very well. My main concern about them would be Travis Kelce. And I think even then, we've got a couple guys that match up with him very well. So it's one of those things where I'm very excited about the Super Bowl. I think tomorrow we have a very good chance of victory.
Yeah. This may be comment of the night right here. He said, ain't nobody called Minnesota a test. They've been bums dressed in Gucci all year. Hey, Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins, man. He was people got on that train. I just think they were smoking mirrors. I don't think they were a true test. The way the Cowboys beat them, that kind of showed me like, okay, these guys are not the real deal. And obviously they did not, they didn't have that successful of a season. So I think it tells you right there. All right, Couch Coach, we can come to you. Are you kind of outside looking in? Give us your thoughts on this Eagles run.
I think it's one of those where it's surprising, but it's really not surprising. I think when you look at this Philadelphia Eagles team, it's kind of what you need to build your team, man. You need to, they did a great job as far as showing up their offensive and defensive line. And I think, and then acquiring guys like Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown down the line, like getting those type of playmakers. So I look at this season as they just had something to prove. I think last year you looked at kind of essentially them losing to Tampa Bay. I think that was just fuel to their fire. And they just came, pretty much every week they came with it. I mean, obviously, as the NFC East guy, we always got pretty much essentially the Eagles' best effort at one point during the season. Some of us got our lick back and some got swept. Sorry, Wise, but some of us got our lick, but some didn't. But a great run by this team. I definitely think, like you said, Nick Sirianni, and it's funny, we laughed at him and joked at him at the press conference. Oh, he couldn't even get a suit from the Men's Warehouse. But it doesn't even really matter. He didn't win the press conference, but look what he's doing now. And I think this is another where this is a very unconventional run where a lot of people look at those situations like, well, if he can't win a press conference, he's not going to win his locker room, and that's totally it's total opposite. And like his energy, I think the thing that I really start like loving low key him is in Indianapolis when he went jarring and it took that personal with the whole situation with Frank Wright getting fired like weeks prior to that. So. Great run by the Eagles. This game is definitely gonna be interesting, to say the least, and I think it will be a good Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. It's a comment here by Eric Butler. Thank you for tuning in the Facebook group. If you're tuning in the BSU Network Facebook group, please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook just to give Facebook authorization so we can see who you are. But he said this will come down to the offensive creativity of the Chiefs and the discipline of the Philly defense. I think I agree with that comment. Cool or Sam, you guys want to touch on that?
Go ahead, Sam.
So I personally think that he's perfectly correct on that. I mean, as long as the Philadelphia defense continues to play how they have all year long, I think this is in the bag. And I hate to say that because, quite honestly, I probably just jinxed them. Knock on some wood right there. But, it's one of those games where I really like the matchups. I think that we match up favorably to the Chiefs offense on defense. I mean, when you look at their receiver room, I'm not scared of anybody. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's a number 2 receiver. Either one of our corners outside is going to take him on all day long, no problem. And then on the other side, who do they have? They've got Justin Watson and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Again, not guys that surprise me or scare me at all. In fact, both of those guys are personally, number 2, number 3 receivers again. So, yeah, they got rid of Tyreek Hill and they added some pieces on defense. But, again, their defense doesn't scare me either. So, it's one of those games where I think it's a really, really good matchup for the Eagles. And I honestly think that's what it's going to come down to, is that the Chiefs won't have enough to ultimately overcome the pieces we brought in on defense.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, while I do agree that the offense creativity of the Chiefs and the discipline of the Philly defense will help decide, we also can't overlook the offensive ability that Philadelphia possesses, right? Philadelphia has the best offensive line in the league. I don't care what stats say. Philadelphia has the best offensive line in the league. And I'll sing that to the mountains. So you're going to take that line. You got a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, as much as he's improved. 2 number 1 wide receivers, a really great guy that will make any catch you throw at him in Zach Pascal. Then you're going to come on and you're going to take, guys like Dallas Goedert, Gainwell out of the backfield, all 3 of our running backs, Boston Scott, Gainwell just mentioned, as well as Miles Sanders. You got a lot of offensive pieces that the Chiefs have to account for as well. So on defense, the goal is for us offensively, the goal is to pressure them. Whatever you're given, we'll take, but there are going to be times where we just need to say, this is what we want to do, and we're going to do it. Impose your will. If our offense can stay on the field, have long drives that end in some sort of points, whether that's 3, whether that's 7, get a defense time to rest, defense gets a chance to get out, mitigate the amount of time that Mahomes has on the field, because Mahomes will make some things happen with these less than superior, wide receivers that he has. He also has Kelsey. So he's got things there, but we're going to need to outscore them. They're not going to throw up 10 points. They're going to put points on the board, so we're going to need to outscore them. So I think there's a big advantage, especially down the field. They have a young secondary. We know what the Eagles have.
Yeah. All right, Sam, we got a comment by Lamar Wallace. It says, come on, Sam, the wide receivers don't have to scare you. It's a person getting them the ball you should worry about.
Okay, I have a very great argument for that. Coverage time. Okay, getting the ball out of Mahomes' hands quickly. Because if you don't, we've got 4 different players that can sack you on any given play. And I guarantee Mahomes wants nothing to do with any of the 4 of those, given the ankle injury he's got. So if you want to see Chad Henne in the game, you go ahead and wait out that coverage, because that's about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope and pray for multiple reasons that Chad Henne is not in this game at all. And the NFL is probably praying right now, too, that they don't want to see Chad Henne, because I think that would definitely that could definitely potentially tank the ratings, which that's what the NFL is passionate about. But
Absolutely.
all right, so I'm gonna come to Couch Coach. Give me your thoughts on the Chiefs side. What are some things that the Eagles need to plan for and be concerned about going into tomorrow?
I think Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is pretty much your public enemy number one on the Eagles side. I'm curious how Spags is going to use him, and I know he's going to just have him pretty much all over the field. I know people, you're reading the press clippings. Oh, it's going to be a Landon Dickerson versus Chris Jones. He's going to be all over the place. He could be scattered all over the field. I think that's someone that just you really want to watch. Somebody who he's not gonna have a Larry Brown type of moment as you would know, Ben, obviously with the Cowboys, Steelers circa 1996, he beat in Arizona.
Right.
Watch out for Jalen Watkins. He might have one of the bit worse matchups individually wise. I think in the last two games in the playoffs, he has had an interception. I think if he can get an interception in this game, and we know Jalen Hurts don't really turn the football over as well, I think he could have somewhat of a I know he has probably one of the biggest mismatches on the field, but I think if he can somewhat take advantage of it, because I know Devontae is probably going to eat off of him for sure. I mean, we know that for a fact. But what can he do in those? Can he force a turnover? And I think that could potentially be a difference maker.
Yeah. We got Chris Mason says Philly is vastly superior offense, defense, and special teams. In the words of Jason Garrett, all three facets of the game. I've heard that so many times. Him and his clapping, I've heard that too many times in my lifetime. All right, Koresh.
Yeah, I mean, I think like when Tyreek Hill left for the Dolphins, I was like, who's gonna step up, And Isaac Pacheco has been so sweet. Like when I first saw him, I'm like, bro, that boy's nice with it, He's smooth, he knows how to, and having him is such a big offensive weapon, similar to what Shady was saying. Like, Mahomes is gonna have to be aware of the defensive line, but you got him. You can just dump it off to him. He'll go for 10, 15 yards. Of course, like the offensive line, Orlando Brown and all of them, like they're going to still have to do their job. But I think it's going to come, like I said, come down to the lines. And it's going to come down to how long Mahomes can stay in that pocket. Can he stand up? He needs to stand in the pocket. Because as soon as he rolls out, I mean, Darius Slay is coming for you, So that's what I think,
All right. Yeah, I think there's a couple things. Obviously, Mahomes. Mahomes is one of those players. I would compare him to Michael Jordan, not in his amount of time he's played, but I think he's a nice guy, but he's got that killer instinct. He's got that I'm gonna hold a grudge against you, type thing. And I think he's obviously is the person you really got to worry about because he's done it, year after year, even when he's under pressure, throwing sidearm passes. The wide receivers don't matter. Obviously, Kelsey is going to be the person you're going to have to figure out what to do with. But I agree with you, Koresh. I think Pacheco is going to be kind of the X factor in this game. How are they going to use him? Are they going to get the ball to him in a similar situation like, Tyreek Hill? I think defensively, Frank Clark seems to always show up in games like this. I know he stats probably aren't that great this year. Also, you got to look at Dunlap and then, Chris Jones. So, I mean, I think it's a great matchup on both sides. I think the Chiefs secondary is not that great, but to Koresh's point, I think they get lucky quite often. And is that really luck, or are they just in the right place at the right time? Because they're not, it's not a lot of I don't think it's any Pro Bowlers on that Chiefs secondary, but I think that coach, going to Couch Coach was saying, I think the coach, their defensive coordinator, I think he elevates them, and he's been able to do that, throughout his whole career. So I think those are some key points.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs always have like unique players that step up for them that we don't expect. Like this year, I thought Sky Moore was gonna go crazy. He's done nothing this year.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, I had him on fantasy, and that didn't work out. I had to end up trading.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. Right, I'm gonna tell you a quick secret. The truth of the matter is, The Chiefs defense is built to play from ahead. They're built to be able to take chances, rush, make rash decisions because they're playing from ahead. You're not going to have a large lead on the Philadelphia Eagles, right? There'll be drives where we don't score. Let's be honest. We're not going to go in and score every time. At least I don't expect us to. But it's stabilizing the drive. It's moving the ball. It's keeping your defense off the field. It's keeping Mahomes on the side. If you can make them play a tight game, the defense is not built for that. The defense is built to be ahead, take those chances, try to make those plays because, hey, even if we miss the ball and then make the big play, we're up 14-0. What difference does it make? We can still get back in the game. Keep the game close, make them play more controlled, make them play the intellectual game of football as well. Make them play, all right, what do I do when these 3 wide receivers are coming? Who do we take? Who do we pass off? How do we handle this? Those are the type of things that they haven't had to deal with for the most part this year because a lot of people have been so far ahead. They've had to throw, so they haven't been able to use the run game against the Chiefs like you've wanted to. So these are things that we should be able to do. So we're going to see how they hold up.
Yeah. Man, E-Money got some confidence. 37-3. I don't know about that, E-Money. I don't see Mahomes scoring only 3 points. And we can't forget Andy Reid. If he has any sense of I'm gonna get you back or any sense of competitiveness, he's going against his former team, and they're scoring more than 3 points. I would be completely shocked if KC only scored 3 points.
That would be like a historical moment.
Yeah, because even in the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, they scored 9, and Patrick Mahomes was fighting for his life on every possession, and he still got 9 points. So, like you said, if he get 3,
hey, that's
board our houses, boil water. It's something's gonna happen. You know.
Lamar says, "Be patient with Scott Moore. This year was him learning offense. He should have good production next year." I agree. I agree with that. I mean, he's a rookie, so some can adapt more to the playbook than others. Exactly. Philly is like Mike Tyson, and KC is Sugar Ray.
I mean, Lamar, I feel you, but we're talking about the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about what he's going to give you tomorrow.
We're talking about today.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, Sam, you want to jump in?
Tomorrow, right?
I was just going to say that I agree with that take on Sky Moore. I mean, he wasn't necessarily drafted for this season. He was supposed to be more of a special teams guy than anything right away. But again, like Cool said, we're talking about the Super Bowl right now. So if he's not really a factor, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so going
into next year.
Oh, yeah.
So
going into tomorrow, obviously, I think this is going to be a big matchup. I wanted to touch on, before we get to our awards, kind of let's go around the room, give us your overview, and then give us your prediction. If you want to give a score, you can give a score. But I think we kind of all talked about the game as a whole. So give us your score if you want to add anything else, and your prediction, Koresh.
A.J. Brown, 1 receiving touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 2 rushing touchdowns. I also think they're going to run this Philly special, but I don't think it'll be in the goal line. I think it'll be on a 2nd and 3. My prediction is 31, like I said, 31-20. If I could bet, I'm obviously not old enough for that, but I still would. I would be picking the Eagles all the way. I don't think the Chiefs, a report came out today that they have a lot of illnesses in the locker room. I heard Chris Jones came down with the flu.
Mahomes supposed to be sick?
Yeah, he came down with the flu on Twitter. I saw something like that. But, you know, so I'm taking Eagles all the way. 100%.
They sound like Eagles fans delivered a pizza to go back to Michael Jordan.
I love Michael Jordan, right?
Some tacos, a pizza, something. All right.
Well, you know, I think the defense is going to be able to get at least 1 turnover. We're going to be able to stay clear on turnovers. And, you know, one of the things I want to point out is, as I said last week, Mahomes got his trophy the other night in the form of his MVP. And Lamar, this is directly to you. He has his trophy that he could put on his mantelpiece. It won't be a Lombardi going up there as well, sir. He's not about the flu. Yeah, he's not about the flu game, the Eagles. he's about to get flew out of Arizona after he takes this L on tomorrow. I'm going to go Eagles 34. I'm going to go 29, as I have been all week. Chiefs, I think they'll be able to hang in there, make it a reasonable game. Hey, if I'm wrong and we blow them out, hey, I don't mind being wrong there. But I just think defense, offense is not going to let up. They're going to play like a well-oiled machine. We there. Some people want to clown and say like, "Oh, the Eagles are just happy with being in the Super Bowl." We're not. We want fresh, updated gear from 5 years ago.
Yeah,
time to get it.
Yeah. All right, Sam.
I didn't come prepared. I didn't wear my hoodie that says Super Bowl champion, so I apologize. Cool, I dropped my side of the ball there.
Hey,
you came prepared, so I will say this, that if you don't think Jalen Hurts didn't take that MVP award a little bit personally going into this Super Bowl, you're a little foolish, because I guarantee that he felt like he deserved that award. I know I felt like he deserved it. So the fact that Mahomes won it and happens to be on the other sideline, I guarantee Hurts is coming into this game wanting to win the Super Bowl and then hopefully take the MVP of that and be like, "Hey, Mahomes, how about that yearly MVP award that I didn't win?" So I personally think that he's going to be a little extra motivated in this game, on top of the fact that this is his first Super Bowl trip of his career. So, I mean, He's going to be amped up. He's ready to go. He prepared for this all season long. This was the entire goal all season long. So I personally think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm guessing something like 38-35. I do not expect it to be a big gap between us and KC. It's going to be a one-score game for sure.
Yeah. Chris says rather have a ring than award. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. All right, Couch Coach.
Yeah. So Sam, they're probably gonna ship your Super Bowl gear to another country. But in all seriousness, I think how the game is gonna be, it's gonna be a heavyweight fight. Obviously, I think your first couple possessions is gonna be just field position or what have you. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna have a drive going, second half. I mean the second half, but in the second quarter. I think you guys are going to ice Patrick Mahomes. I think you guys are going to have a drive to end the first half, get the ball back in the second half, get Mahomes probably an hour to a half an hour frozen. So I think Philly take advantage of that, that double halftime, and I think that's potential to be one of your saving graces. But I do have the Philadelphia Eagles. It's gonna snow. The Philadelphia Eagles winning by the final score of 38-21. And AJ Brown will be the Super Bowl MVP. He's gonna maybe potentially have a Cooper Cup type of game tomorrow. So don't say I haven't said nothing nice about you guys, Cool and Sam. So good luck.
Are you really saying something nice about us, or just you don't have a lot of faith in Kansas City though? Nah, I'm messing with you.
My only question is, is greasing the poles going to help? Please explain to me why you guys climb poles. Somebody? Cool, Sam? Somebody?
No idea. I think Philadelphia, they're a crazy city, because they have no self-control. They have no self-control whatsoever.
Playing Meek Mill and climbing the pole.
That's it.
Hey, man, I think you just get so rowdy in those situations. And you got to think about it. This is a team that there's championships from back in the day, right? That some people want to acknowledge and some people don't, but whatever's whatever. But it's been a while since the Philadelphia Eagles have been in this situation, right? We were there 5 years ago, but before that, large gap. So then you got to understand, this is a fan base who has heard a lot of trash from a lot of other teams for a long time. So when they get that opportunity, it's like, hey, the fans, they celebrate, they party, they wild out. I don't think it'll be as bad this year, but I think it will be close. So I think greasing the poles is a very wise decision. And I think these are the type of things that probably happen in other places too. But Philadelphia is like, hey, we have to go grease the poles. Other places just grease the poles and don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead, Sam.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say, I think it is going to be a heavyweight bout. I'm a big fan of both of these QBs. I think it's people are on different sides of it's two black QBs. Some people think that's not a story. They think it is a story. I think it's the journey that both of these guys have taken to this point. Mahomes playing at Texas Tech. I'm not saying nobody, but most people did not see this in Patrick Mahomes' future. Jalen Hurts going to two different teams in college, coming into this point, people doubted him. So I think it's going to be definitely a heavyweight fight. I think it's going to be a good back and forth. I am going, though, with the Chiefs. Now, I'm doing this because I said this on a previous show, and I'm not a flip-flopper. So I know I've been riding with y'all, but I think when it comes to Mahomes, I think there's some players that know when to rise to the occasion. I know his ankle's probably still bummed, but I think he's got all the ability. I think when it comes down to that defense, they will make the necessary plays. And I think it's going to be Chiefs in a close one, but that's what I'm riding with.
I got to tell you, man, it makes me feel a lot better because – like you said, man, when everybody's cheering for us, we're like, what do we do? But when people are saying we can't do it and we don't believe in us, we seem to be better, right? So the fact that everybody was taking the Eagles, I was getting a little concerned. So thank you for breaking up that monotony, sir. I've heard a lot of people not take the Eagles, and thanks to all of those people, right? I mean, let's be real. We talked about it all the time. Yeah. We live by the motto, no one likes us, so we don't care. So if everybody likes us, then
right.
We're not telling the truth anymore. So it's good that some people don't want us. And Lamar Wallace, to answer your question, sir, there is lube being used. They did not provide the brand, but actually they are using lube.
Hey, you're supposed to keep it PG-13. Chris is here.
Look, I'm answering Lamar's question.
We didn't say what kind. We didn't say what kind of lube. It could be
I just said
Vaseline.
Lube. Yeah, I just said lube. I'm not sure of any brand names, but
water.
It definitely won't be water, sir. It won't be water.
I'm gonna go ahead and whatever was cheapest. There's a lot of light bulbs.
Yeah,
I think it got donated. I heard
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Let me get to this comment by Eric. He said, "Who? I know you was a dog his sophomore year at Tech. Now you are a Texas Tech fan. Eric actually went to Texas Tech. So, but people outside." And I worked with a Texas Tech fan, and he didn't believe in Mahomes. So I was like, all right, I don't know if I can really. But hey, that what you do in college is not always what you're going to do in the pros. We've seen it so many different times, and you could be balling out in college, and then you can get to the league, and you either got injuries or you just can't. You're not able to do it. So
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
About that. I actually just read today that they're expected to release him. What's your thoughts on that?
Merry Christmas. I mean, the writing was on the wall. I think, you look at, especially putting him back in, especially in the midst of a playoff run, and it didn't go well. Cool. Stop it. But in all seriousness, the writing was on the wall. I think this last kind of run where he didn't get it done, I think that was pretty much the nail for him, unfortunately.
Yeah. He's going to be a permanent backup for the rest of his career, unless he decides to play in a different league. But, yeah, it's not happening, bro. If anybody logically watched the film, you don't have to watch film. If you watch any of the games, you knew that this is it. Okay, he's a backup from now on. So if
I knew
anybody
that before the season.
Yeah, if anybody makes him the starter, you're tanking. Period. That's the only reason why you put him as the starter. Philly Express should be a 2-touchdown favorite. People don't have the eye though. A baller knows a baller. He said, not bragging. I think that's Eric. Yep, talking about Patrick Mahomes. All right, so that's our predictions and our scores. Lamar says Carson Wentz can be a star in the XFL. Maybe I knew Sam was going to do that. Sam, I know you got something to say.
No, leave him away from my leagues, please. I would prefer that he doesn't touch XFL, USFL. Send him to Canada, maybe, except I cover that league too. So I really don't want him there.
But Sam, maybe if you send him to one of those leagues, he can be like a face of the league.
That
He
worries me
he'll
even
bring
more.
maybe he'll bring more eyes because he was a ex NFL quarterback.
Then those eyes will be his mom and his wife and his cousins and his family. That'll be about it. But yeah, you're probably gonna hear the Philadelphia Stars have signed Carson Wentz to a 1-year deal.
You definitely won't hear that, sir. You definitely will not hear that.
No. They may not actually be playing in Philadelphia, but they're smart enough to not do that.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to hear that.
I also happen to know quite a few of the coaches, and let me tell you, they would not hear the end of that if they signed Carson Wentz.
Yeah, they would definitely not.
Yeah.
I would hunt them down
Definitely.
and troll them.
Absolutely. So on that note, for anybody who happens to be watching that's not aware of the XFL and USFL, there are quite a few first and second round picks that signed over this year. So if you're looking for name value, go look at a couple of these rosters. You'll see some names you'll recognize.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Wentz for the Stars.
Hold on. Chris, were you serious? Where's Brian Scott at?
Oh, me or the? Are you talking about?
No, Chris Mason. Sorry.
Oh
He
yeah.
said Brian Scott's back.
Scott is back.
So I would like to know if he's being serious. He likes to be facetious quite often.
Facetiousness is one of his superpowers.
All right. So big shout out to End of the Bench Media, H-Rap B, is my co-host on the Forecast on Mondays. He brought up an idea that we do the NFC East Awards. So we came up with the categories. We're going to go through those as we kind of round out the show. And similar to the NFL honors, everybody here voted or had opportunity to vote. So this is all from the NFC Beast crew. They said yes, Wentz for the Stars. Oh, okay. Right scheme of Wentz. All right, so we're going to get into the first one, which is the Rookie of the Year. And so I came up with 3: Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Robinson Jr., Deron Bland of the Cowboys. I couldn't come up with one for the Eagles because I didn't see anybody that, I don't know, made that big of an impact. But
there wasn't.
Who was anybody? Okay. I didn't think there was anybody to put in there. So a little drum roll. Kayvon Thibodeau has won Rookie of the Year for the NFC East. And I voted, I think I voted for Deron Bland because I'm a homer. I think I was the only one that voted for Deron Bland because I'm a homer. No, actually it was John. John Motley actually voted for Deron Bland.
It's okay. John's a homer.
Yeah.
I voted for Brian Robinson Jr. Because, man, the story on that cat. But Kayvon Thibodeau definitely made his presence well known. So no surprise. Any comments on Thibodeau?
Yeah, I mean, I personally love Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he has questionable character. That's the only thing. Like, his attitude is kind of quite questionable, but I think he's a great player. I think if he continues to grow, he'll take that next step. But that's all on him, really.
Yeah, shout out to Eric. He came over to the YouTube side. Intellect, appreciate that. USFL Championship. I'm sure he's probably talking about if Wentz was on the team. Nose tackle rookie from GA from Philly. Yeah, Jordan Davis. But
Jordan Davis didn't have the stats to be included. I mean, he what he does, a lot of what he did this year doesn't show up on the stat sheet as far as for him individually, but it shows up for the team. So I'd agree. I don't think there was anybody in Philly that should have been included in Rookie of the Year for this particular season. I like Thibodeau. He was the guy I chose. I think you can see the difference when he was on the field and when he wasn't for the Giants. He's a big part of why they were able to exceed a lot of expectations this year. And I believe you give props where they're due. So definitely wanted to make sure that dude got my vote, and he did.
Yeah,
he actually got my vote as well. I would not have put Jordan Davis in there either. Personally, like Cool says, nose tackle is just, it's not a stat position. It's not a position you'll ever see win Defensive Rookie of the Year. But also, he was kind of our third or fourth option at defensive tackle at that. So he wasn't even remotely a starter. So I mean, at that point, you kind of got to give it to Thibodeau or Robinson Jr.
Yeah, definitely. And you're gonna see Robinson in here quite a bit. And I know Couch Coach, I know that's got to be your guy.
And
right.
I voted for Thibodeau, so
Oh.
this guy. Yes, I voted for Thibodeau because just the impact that he had, and you think
Yeah,
about it, essentially,
and you're being honest,
in our game, him getting that fumble recovery essentially put them in the playoffs. So I mean, he made probably one of the biggest plays for the Giants. So yeah, big time.
All right. So we're gonna go now to comeback player of the year. And this was really a two-person race. Well, we had Saquon, Brian Robinson Jr., Leighton Vander Esch, and Miles Sanders. And those were all viable candidates. And drum roll. We're gonna give it to Saquon Barkley, which he clearly won that one. That was what was that? 4-2 votes. So big shout out to Saquon. I mean, to me, it was self-explanatory. He hasn't played a full season. I don't think he's ever played a full season. And this year he played a full season, and you could tell the difference in that offense. So definitely comeback player of the year. Anybody want to add on that?
Saquon had a great season. I mean, Brian, I got to give him a shout out. He got shot. He came back 5 weeks later, which is crazy. Yeah. But he didn't have the stats to back it up. I mean, he came back a completely different player than when he left. So I hope he takes this offseason to recover and get back to where I know he can be. But Antonio Gibson, I feel like everyone just went lights out on him. He was having solid, and the offensive line in it performing on the Commanders. The Commanders, that was their big problem, honestly, this year with their O-line. That was one of their problems. A quarterback was another one, but I feel like if you put him on a better O-line, I want to see what Brian can do, because I feel like he'll.
Yeah. Couch Coach, you want to add something?
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, that's one of those where you look at just essentially, you look at even in our game against the Eagles the first go round, 9 sacks. That was our biggest issue. And like you said, coming off of last year, Antonio Gibson having 1,000 yards in 2021, and now fast forward to here, and you just look at the games where these guys won't get opportunities to get open holes, and even that line has been makeshift the whole entire season, so it's never really has been a constant in that position. But yeah, that's like we say, that's why the Philadelphia Eagles are in the playoff, in the Super Bowl. They playing a game because they short up their offensive line, and I think people fail to realize, hey, you need to get the trenches straight before you get everything else. Yeah. So get everything else in order. Get your line first, and then everything else take care of itself.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to the next one, Offensive Player of the Year. This one was not close at all. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Terry McLaurin, Couch Coach was the vote there, and Tony Pollard. Now, even I voted for Jalen just because, the season that he had compared to the other three, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to quick drum roll. Jalen Hurts wins the Offensive Player of the Year. I think there's really no surprise there. Not a lot to talk about. I wanted to make sure I put somebody from each team. So, but yeah, Hurts. Any thoughts? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, though.
Yeah, I think Tony Pollard, I can't imagine what he would do if he was RB1. If he didn't have to split with Zeke, what could he do? He is so sweet. It's unbelievable. But I think that Jalen is just ahead of everyone. I also think Terry McLaurin is, at one point at his best, is a top 5 receiver in the league. I know that's a big take, right? But he's a solid receiver. So he's another one that I'm really excited next year. It's his comeback year, honestly.
Yeah.
I had to show my bias on this one. Obviously, because we know it hurt so bad was gonna win this one. So
yeah.
So
I know it was gonna be between you or Livewire. One of y'all would voted.
hey, we gotta represent
McLaurin, but yeah.
Right.
How can you argue with over 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns, though?
Yeah.
Hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's what those Chiefs fans be saying after tomorrow.
All right, let's go to Defensive Player of the Year. This one I felt like was probably one of the best categories. Micah Parsons, Hassan Reddick, who had one hell of a year, led the league. No, he was second in sacks
In the regular season. Yep.
the regular season. Jonathan Allen and Dexter Lawrence. So, drum roll. We got Micah Parsons as Defensive Player of the Year. I'm happy. I'm glad. No surprise for me. That's who I voted for. That's who majority of the people voted for. We did get the Eagles fans and John Motley voting for Hassan Reddick. Motley must have clicked the wrong button. I don't know what happened there. But
It's
Clicked the
snowing.
wrong button. I don't think he clicked the wrong button.
It's snowing in Arizona. It's snowing in Arizona.
Yeah. But Micah was that guy this year. I think everyone knew the ability he had, but he was able to make his presence not just with sacks, but also with pressures, also with tackles for loss. He's a smart defensive player, and it shows. And his character. There was some questions about his character, before he got drafted, and I think he's proven that. And I mean, he's been riding for Dak longer than I could. So, more power to him on that part too. But now, if Dak did go to a different team, he would be all over him. Things change when you switch teams. But any thoughts on Micah?
Yeah, Micah. I mean, I like Micah, but I hope he's still in the league next year. Reading some stuff about him, he's quite an interesting individual. That's all I'll say. But if he's not in jail with his boy Henry Ruggs, right, he'll be out on the field dominating. So I think that he had a great season. Shout out to him. He's one of those players that stands out. He flashes. He flashed in college and he flashes in the NFL. So I really hope he just keeps that up. And that's what the Cowboys need. They need someone to complement his skill set. They have him, Trayvon Diggs, which I like Trayvon Diggs, but he takes weeks on and weeks off. So
he takes tackles on and tackles off too.
Yeah. And Micah is your favorite player on the opposing team. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Parsons is a beast.
Hassan Reddick was robbed for a second time this year. Okay.
The bias is showing
5 forced fumbles.
16 and a half sacks.
16 and a half sacks, 49 tackles, playing a hybrid linebacker defensive line position. And then again, he doesn't even get any love player, even in the division. That's all good, man. It's all good.
He got some.
This goes to show you can call it bias, or you can just say that deep down inside, y'all didn't want 2 Philadelphia Eagles to win awards in the division, so y'all knew you couldn't really stop Hurts. So y'all sandbag my boy Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick, man, I'm about to tag you in this video so you can see this before the game tomorrow, so you can have you some extra motivation.
You got cut this up. You got jump in his DMs and this stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to DM you this, man. They robbed you again.
We didn't want to bring sand to the beach, cool. So
I'm just playing, man. Micah Parsons had a good season. Even last year you saw what he could do, but I felt like there was some bias. All the a lot of people that's not Eagles fans are voting for Micah Parsons. I'm saying.
I like what Lamar has to say.
Parsons looks good until Philly ran the RPO right at him. Made him think, that was probably his worst game of the season. I'm not doubting you at all.
Yeah, I ain't gonna judge him for the one, right? It was us, of course. It's a different animal, so I ain't really fault him for that,
Chronicles of Riddick.
These are some good fantasy football days next year.
Hurts so good. That's a good one. I don't know if you use that one or not.
I'm sitting here thinking, man. So I have certain players that may not be on the team anymore next year, who I have in my fantasy name. So I may have to make some changes next year. So we'll see. But I'm getting some good ideas of things maybe I can combine, right, and make some things happen. I like it.
Yeah.
Is Fletcher
Yeah.
Cox in that name?
Of course he is, sir.
I had a feeling that was one of the guys you were talking about leaving.
Jalen Hurts is in there as well. The same name.
All right. This is a comment by Joseph Hill. He said Eagles gonna choke 27-17 Chiefs. That's my first time I've heard that. That's my first time I heard the choke word.
Like I say, man, we need that, right? That needs to be placed into the universe for us. So thank you, Joseph, for placing it in the universe. I appreciate you.
Yeah. You cut that up and send it to Riddick too.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that too.
Today.
Definitely.
Tonight.
This thing's gonna be like a million different, shorts by tomorrow.
I'm gonna cut Ben talking about we're gonna lose to the Chiefs too. Cut that in there.
Yeah, send that to him too. Just get a whole group chat. Send it to him. Send it to Hertz. Send it to AJ Brown. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I've already had Twitter conversations with those gentlemen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we good.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it to GM of the year. To me, this is really no question. There was one vote for someone else, and that was by Wise. But I'm not even gonna give a drum roll. It's Howie Roseman. This what he did with this squad this year, and it's the three facets of picking up players: free agency, trades, and draft. And they did all three extremely well. And the result is they're in the Super Bowl. So shout out to Howie Roseman. I know there's been some up and down comments on him. So I'm going to go to Cool. Give me your thoughts on his job this year.
Oh, he did a great job this year. I'm one of the people that has lambasted him, called for him to be fired multiple occasions, started a hashtag and all that. I won't say I didn't do it, right? Because this is the same guy. Let's not forget, 3 years ago when Jalen Hurts was drafted, instead of going after Justin Jefferson, he drafted Jalen Reagor, the first round pick, with Justin Jefferson sitting on the board. Prime pumped and ready to be an Eagle. So I'm not going to forgive that just in a couple of years. I said, in order for me to forgive that, Howie has to bring us 2 Super Bowls. He's almost halfway there.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah, if that was the prerequisite, he has delivered one, and he is about this close to delivering 2.
Well, remember, it has to be 2 since we got Reagor.
Oh,
only 1. Yeah,
we only got 1. Okay,
you got to give us another one.
After this one,
if we win,
if you win tomorrow, yeah, right.
You give me 2, I stop talking about it.
Yeah, he did his job. He did his job, and it only takes 1 year. We got to remember when it comes to getting to the Super Bowl, it only takes 1 year for everything to go. I'm not gonna say perfect, but for everything to align, it only takes that 1 year. Sam.
I was just gonna say that how could you possibly pick anybody other than Howie Roseman? Look at the run that the Eagles have had, and it's simply unbelievable. You know, over the past 6 seasons, we've been in 2 Super Bowls with 2 different head coaches, 2 different quarterbacks. Well, actually 3 different quarterbacks if you count the fact that Wentz got us there, and then Foles ended up having to play the playoff run. So I think the fact that the coaching staff and everything is so much different, and we were still able to make it this far and be this dominant this season, I personally think Howie Roseman was a lock for GM of the year no matter what. Now, I mean, there's a definite argument for Joe Schoen with the Giants, but with that being said, he's not in the Super Bowl right now. Right. So, I mean, it's the argument's kind of made for you right there.
Yeah, the win.
And that's why y'all robbed Riddick. That's exactly why y'all robbed Riddick, because y'all didn't want 3 Eagles to win. Y'all robbed Riddick.
Yeah, the Giants' wins didn't equal that award. And if they would have gotten further, if they would have got to the Super Bowl, maybe be a different story. Shout out to my partner, Keisha Walker. Thank you for tuning in.
I think even if they had gotten to the Eastern Conference, the conference championship game, that may have been, good enough. But by the fact that we got there, I have to agree. Hey, Keisha,
here she goes.
I appreciate it. I can't have everybody love us.
They both lose.
Yeah, I can't have everybody. As long as part of it is saying you hope we lose, I'm good. We have to have the negative energy. It's been a lot of positive energy towards us tonight. So we got to have some of the negative, like Lamar, Keisha, and some other people. gotta balance it out. Like we're a team that we need that balance. We don't need all the positive energy. We need the hate too. We embrace the hate.
Yep. Now let's go to the coach of the year. Was this really a 2-coach race? McCarthy got no votes, not even from me. Ron Riviera got no votes, not even from Livewire or Couch Coach. So it came down to Brian Dable and Nick Sirianni. I voted for Nick, man. I think the job he's done. So there goes some love. Cool. See, I love y'all to a certain degree. And then it was Brian Dable, and Brian Dable got a massive amount of votes, which the job that he's done with Daniel Jones, that was literally for some people almost out the league, and Dable's came in and I think completely flipped. I think that team. So yeah, any comments on Dable? I think he was the clear cut winner when it came down to all of our votes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Dable, he started off hot and then kind of went down quick, but I think that he's a great coach. I also think Nick Sirianni is a great coach. I think that you have to look at the players that they have, and at the end of the day, Nick Sirianni has better talented players. Brian Dable does not. So what Brian Dable was able to do, I mean, Brian Dable had his star safety go on a trip to the Bahamas to get hurt on a boat and was out for 7 weeks. And he was still able to overcome that. He had Kenny Galladay. He had, Kadarius Toney.
That whole wide receiving core. Wow.
I mean, who else do they have? And he still was able to take his team. I mean, Saquon was literally that team. Saquon and then Danny from time to time. But, I mean, I think you got to give it to him because of that,
Yeah. Man, he had Rick James' cousin playing wide receiver. Or actually, that's probably his nephew.
I'm Richard James. Hey, man, I have one thing to say. I completely agree with that analysis, and a lot of that was why I voted for Daboll over my own head coach. I'd also say he made Evan Ingram look like a top-tier tight end.
Yeah.
The same Evan Ingram that was ran out of places for his play. You know what I'm saying? He made him look like a solid number 1 tight end this year. You know, what he did with Danny, I think why I say it's okay to call him Nichols. And, Saquon staying healthy, man. You have to give this to Daboll just because of that. Yeah, and Kenny Galladay, I agree. That man is a thief.
He came in there with a ski mask and was like, give me all the money in the bag.
Give me the loot.
Unmarked. Give me the loot. Yeah, exactly. So congrats to Brian Dable.
Definitely, man. He definitely deserves it.
Yeah, and great. Yeah. Anytime you pull up the first day of work in the F-150, you the coach. You backed it up.
It's go time. All right, now let's get to the big one of the night, MVP, which we had, I think, some great candidates here. It was really a 2-player race, but we had Jalen Hurts, Michael Parsons, Terry McLaurin, and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley got no votes. Terry McLaurin got one by the one and only Livewire. Livewire was, man, he better have a Terry McLaurin jersey. That is his guy. And then it came down to Michael Parsons and, like I said, Jalen Hurts. So, drum roll for the last award. No surprise, but it goes to Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the NFC East Awards.
Hurt so bad.
He's rightfully deserved, man. Rightfully deserved. I mean, we know the season, we know the stats, we talk about them again and again, but I mean, it was rightfully deserved for this year. I'm proud of my guy, QB1. We just need one more great game out of QB1, and then you got the whole summer to relax.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, the mentality that he brings is like a lot like Kobe, honestly. He reminds me so much of Kobe, not the way he plays, but like mentally, the level he's at is higher than most guys in the NFL. And that's why he's able to get to where he's at. You know, most guys, when they get benched, they're like, all right, whatever. Like, I can't do this. But he kept pushing, you know. Yeah. And he made it to the top. And I like Jalen Hurts, football player, but I like Jalen Hurts, the man. So, I'm happy.
And Hurts' swag
Yeah.
is on a million.
Yeah, 100%.
Compared to Mahomes and Mahomes' Kermit the Frog voice.
No, Mahomes started talking.
Yeah, he was like, okay. Yeah.
I just want to take my guys back because I was just went out
He
and
was like,
they really play hard for
like,
me.
I like ketchup. Don't stink.
oh my god. But yeah. And real quick, Hurts with the all-female team is I don't know what all. I know he's got the agent, he's got the I think his mom or sister's involved. Like that to me
Publicist, and yeah, he's got everything going on.
That's pretty dope right there. Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah, and I think Jalen Hurts is a great case study for younger athletes, especially when dealing with adversity. I know in this day and age, people often look, hey, if it ain't going my way, I'm going to the transfer portal and I'm just getting the hell out of town. Yeah. And I think Jalen Hurts is kind of one of those where he's been in situations in Alabama, and he's also even in the Doug Peterson era where he wasn't really their guy. So I think it's one of the things where you see him persevering in multiple facets, also in college football, and then also in NFL. I think he's just a great example of just letting guys know, hey, it's not too late. Today you might have some adversity, but the sun will come out tomorrow and you'll have opportunity. So just very, very proud of what Jalen Hurts has done. I mean, I think, just the job he's done this year, just been nothing short of spectacular. There was a lot of questions even going into the season. Is he a bona fide quarterback, QB1? And now he's silenced everybody and know that he's a franchise quarterback for this Philadelphia Eagles team for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. And Coach, how great would it be if he were to end the story with a Super Bowl victory?
I mean, hey, I'd be cool. I mean, the thing about it is I don't want Kansas City to catch up with us to three Super Bowl rings. So I'm kind of like, I'm on your side. When your time comes for your third one, I mean, that'd be that nice. But, I'm not trying to, I'm trying to stay in that three rings.
He's nice today.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's a great point, Coach. I think a lot of people, period, when adversity comes, you feel like you give up. And Jalen Hurts could have just said, all right, I'm done, or I'm going to just kind of fade off. But I think that gave him that, that push. And I think that adversity, he rose to it. And, look where he is. So, well deserving of that MVP. Let's get to some comments here as we kind of round out the show. We got my man Al High says Josh Allen misses Dable. Definitely, I believe he definitely does. Congrats, D. Hurts, says Chris. People giving a round of applause. QB can't let refs get in their heads.
Very true.
True. Yeah.
Hurts alpha male, he definitely is, and to do it, I mean, he's just so smooth with it too. I haven't seen him. Some people you can tell when they get under pressure. I haven't seen him with a look of I'm nervous on his face. I don't think ever. So, hey, I don't like Mahomes' voice as a Chiefs fan. Yeah, most people don't. Kermit the Frog voice. Mahomes gonna need all the bath bombs after the game. Yeah. Hey.
Don't tell him I use bath bombs.
Hurts to Hurts. Yeah, and he's definitely gonna get a pregame shot, probably a halftime shot, and probably a postgame shot. So if he goes in the tent, it's not because he's got to take a piss. So as long as Dan Snyder is your owner, chairs some 3 championships.
Well, guess what, Lamar? We're about to get sold in a few weeks, so wait on it. Wait on the good side. March will be here before you know it, and we'll be sold. And Jeff Bezos, save us, please.
Yep. All right, Sam. I know you got to run.
All right, Sam.
Have a great night, guys.
Good luck tomorrow.
Go Eagles.
Yep.
Thanks, fellas.
All right.
That's it.
Eric says, agree with y'all about Jalen, but chill on Pat's voice. We got a clip and send that to him. See what happens. Yeah.
Let's
Hey,
give him
listen.
You know
a
his voice
marker.
sound like
Yeah.
that.
Listen,
You
you
know.
go on anybody's show. I don't care if you're a diehard Chiefs lover, and you hear what they got to say about Patrick Mahomes' voice. It's the same thing.
I wish you do Pat Mahomes senior voice. Huh? I'm smoking on that Jalen Hurts, on that Joe Burrow. I'm smoking on that Joe Burrow.
Oh, Dad, well, you know that. Oh, yeah.
I mean, after the game, I'm gonna have some catch up with some shake.
Hey, one thing, I hope his brother is not there, bro. You need to stay at home. Stay at home. Do not show up. Don't even watch the game, man. Just stay at home.
Rihanna gonna be there. He gonna be there. Rihanna's gonna be there.
If his brother's there and they lose, his brother gonna get knocked out.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh, y'all don't play. Eagles fans don't play.
He will get knocked out by the fans.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Great show. Great season. The first season of the NFC Beast, and look at that, the NFC East team ends up making it to the Super Bowl. So, great job this year. Any final words before we end the show? We'll kind of go around the room, and we'll go to Koresh first.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a great experience for my first time. I'll definitely be back next year, And I'm just excited, man. I mean, this has been a long time coming. The Super Bowl, I'm ready. My last Super Bowl before I turn 18, so it's a personal one, So I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Okay.
All right, cool. Mahomes' brother is annoying. Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen a lot of him, so maybe they deleted his TikTok account or something. Please knock out his brother, and that's Lamar.
That's Lamar talking.
Yeah.
Those are Lamar though. Lamar's realistic. So he talk a little trash, but he's a realistic guy.
Yeah. All right, cool. Final words.
Hey man, tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna say the same thing I said earlier. The time for talking is over. It's time for the main event. Tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. EST. We can all overanalyze, underanalyze, pump our chest, do whatever. But those two 53-man rosters got to get out there and make something happen. I do believe that the Eagles are the one that's going to do it. But, hey, we got to see how the game plays out. I appreciate everybody that came on to the show, man. This is a concept we came up with. I just want to do something for the division. And lo and behold, the first year we do it, best division in football. One of the teams, my team, makes the Super Bowl. So, man, we just got to finish it up tomorrow. Appreciate everybody that came on, everybody in the comments all season. Y'all be ready for us next season. We're going to drop something for y'all. We got to talk about it, figure out what. Got to do something around the draft as well. So we'll definitely make something happen for that. But much love to everybody, man. I'm excited about season 2, and I feel like this is a great show. And I'm glad I got to do something with Ben, man. Ben's a guy I've admired for a while, so definitely excited to be on here with him too.
Appreciate that. All right, Couch Coach.
Well, the haze in the barn, fellas. A hell of a season. And we, and the good thing about being this, we all understand, hey, the NFC East is the greatest division of all time, regardless of our standings or whatever. And hey, we are none group. Ben's my guy. He's a Cowboy fan. I can talk trash to him, but you talk to Ben, you have to check with me, cool, all of us.
Exactly.
It's a brotherhood around here. So definitely thank you guys for even putting me in. Have me here to talk to Commanders and just week in and week out. It's been a hell of a ride. I wish I would have joined the playoffs, but I did keep the couch warm for all you guys, except for Cool, because Cool's actually not gonna be on the couch until next week. But in theory, great season. Definitely can't wait to run this back next year and better than ever. And just letting everybody know the NFC is the greatest division of all time. That's hence why we're the NFC Beast.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go.
Chris said all you need is love. Love is all you need, not Jordan Love. All right. Well, sounds like the Packers about to find out what that's going to look like next year.
How many days is Aaron Rodgers on his dark retreat? Is day 2, day 3? I forgot what day it is on his dark retreat.
It's 3, I think.
Oh wow! So he coming out the light tomorrow. Okay, cool. Figure it out.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, man, this was fun. This entire season, the back and forth, having different people come on the show, which will, I think speaking for all of us, we love to have more people, kind of join in as we can, because not everybody's gonna be available every week. We got families, we got kids, we got jobs and stuff. So, but yeah, it was definitely fun and good to see one of the teams make it. And the Super Bowl tomorrow is gonna be. I think it's gonna be epic. I think it's gonna be one of the best. I think yeah, for you, yes, but not for to get Rihanna to come from under her under the rock, under her umbrella, right, under her billions, because I honestly, she's been a businesswoman. That's the reason why she's probably not making that much music. But to get her to come back, I can't wait to see the features. And shout out to Jay-Z too. People forget Jay-Z got involved in this thing 2 years ago, and last year you had the whole West Coast. This year you got Rihanna. So people can say what they want to say about Jay, but the dude is flipped this to a hip hop type event when it comes down to it. So definitely. All right. Lamar says, "Great show, fellas. Go Chiefs." All right. So we will be back next year, and yeah, I think we should definitely do something for the draft. Let's talk about that. And we'll be back when we see you. And appreciate everybody for tuning in and checking us out this year. And y'all take care. Peace.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hail to the Commanders.
Hail to the Cowboys. Can't find my outro. Where is it?
I got some more. I can always feel the timing while we're waiting for it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, there it is. MCB's outro. Appreciate you, Cole, for the outro and the intro. All right, y'all take care.
Yes, sir.